മിക്കവാറും ജ്ഞാനയോഗം, കർമ്മയോഗം, ഭക്തിയോഗം ഇതെല്ലാം വരുന്ന ഒരു പേപ്പറാണത്, ഇൻട്രൊഡക്ഷൻ ടു യോഗ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് സ്കീംസിൽ നമ്മളെ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ അതിൽ കർമ്മയോഗം ഒരു പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട സംഭവമാണ്. അപ്പം ആ തിയറി ഓഫ് കർമ്മ ആണ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. എന്നിട്ട് യോഗ എന്താണെന്ന് പറയാൻ, ആ തിയറി നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് യോഗ എന്താണെന്ന് പറയാനായിട്ട് ഒരു ചെറിയ ഗീതയിലെ ഒരു ഡെഫിനിഷൻ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഞാൻ ഫലേശ കൂടാതെ കർമ്മം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ കർമ്മയോഗമായി. അപ്പം കർമ്മയോഗ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ആ ഡെഫിനിഷനിലെല്ലാം ഉണ്ട്. കയറിയിരിക്കാനല്ലേ പോച്ചു. അയ്യോ, നമസ്കാരം. ഓ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. Let us take the theory of karma. Theory of karma. There are actually two major parts in karma. One is the theory of karma, and the second part is the incarnation theory, reincarnation. So two things. One is theory of karma, and the other part is the theory of reincarnation. But karma theory is actually have a great base. It is founded on actually principles, and it is scientific in many respects. Karma means action. Karma also means the result of action. We often say, oh, that was my karma. That means that was the reaction to some of my actions. So karma has two ideas. One is action and the other is result of action. Both are having the same word, karma. Karma means action. Simple thing. Karma means action. And that you can trace to the very origin of the universe, because it's a continuous actions which are going on from the very beginning. Even for the creation, there was some action which was going on. And when you are looking into the minutest particle of existence, which is a complete particle, which is an atom. And inside the atom, when you look, there is it is full of movements. Subatomic movements are there, like proton, neutron, electron, positron, so many so many things may be there, and maybe later will be found out. So action means movement, some kind of a movement that happens. For a movement, movement won't happen as it is, but there must be an inspiration to move or a knowledge to move. So if you trace action and you can find movement, and if there is movement, there should be something preceding to the movement, which is a passion to move or desire to move. In the universe also there is some intelligence or something desire to do something, and then as a result of this something happened. Everything that happened in the universe, as far as science and normal philosophers they knew, it is all coming from some intelligence. When you look at it, you can see there is an intelligence which is working. Even when you go to a particle, which is the base of matter, and it is following certain schemes. And then recently, we are reading it in scientific, what we call journals, that when you are looking at the movement of a particle, the particle changes its movement according to the viewer, according to the observer. So it's very mysterious something. But anyway, underlying all this mystery of the universe, there is an intelligence that is working. And there must be some trial or motivation or something which made some movement possible. That's an assumption. And because that is how we see the world. There is some desire, and then you put the desire into practice. And then there are coded information in our genes. According to the coded information, it designs our personality, our character, our muscles, our cells, and everything that composes our structure as a human being. And when it is a human being, it is having certain desires to continue doing something, and we are motivated by this kind of desires. There is a desire to move. We can see always there is a passion to move, and followed by that there is movement, and the movement will result in something. That is the fruit of life, of movement, a fruit of action. That is why masters have been looking at it, and they said that both are movements. The desire to get a result of it out of the action that you do is also called karma, and the movement as it is also called karma. Both are belonging to, coming under the purview of the word karma. So when you look at the world is in incessant movement. And for movement, when scientifically when you are looking, for movement there needs basically 2-3 components. One is the desire to move, passion to move. As a result of this, there happens some movement. If there is no desire to move, actually maybe nothing moves. So as things are doing in special or following some special laws or particular laws, and as you are seeing this particular laws that governs the movement, and you can look at what are these particular base of movement, then you can see certain small things there. One, we have seen desire to move, without which movement is not possible. Then when you specifically look into the minutest particle of existence, you can see that there is interrelationship between the components. They somehow happen to be together. That is how the particles became a little more bigger, compact atom. Maybe in the beginning, maybe free proton, neutron, electron, everything might be free. And for some reason, they got come closer to each other and they started to move around each other, or they created a relationship between the particle, and then that relationship is the basis of existence. If it is free electron, proton, neutron, and all those things, then actually it may be not possible for the world as it is, the base of which is the atom, which composes all the other subatomic particles together. So you can see there is a relationship. In the middle core, when you are looking, there is some charge which is there, which is considered as the nucleus, and around which there are electrons moving. This is what the science says, in the minimum science. And so there is an inner core which is not letting the particle move away from it. So they are establishing a relationship between each other, and they, like a colony, they started to build up as the basic building block of the existence. So even there, in the basic building block of the material world, you can see there is a relationship, there is some kind of a coherence, some kind of a living together, a giving and taking something together. And this we can see in the minutest particle, and you trace it even to the highly developed human system. You can see our body is a colony of all these things. In that colony, in that it's by millions of years of development, we have come like this, and almost the same thing is working in our mind. Underlying every action, there is an inherent intention, something we want, and that inspires our movement of our mind. And consequent to the movement, our body functions something, and it wants to achieve the movement, achieve the idea which comes in the mind. So for that, our organs will work, organs of actions will work, and then we achieve it. And as there is an intention, in many times we may not be able to fulfill the intention completely. But whereas when you look into the basic particle of basic material, which is the atom, maybe it seems that they are normally they are not separating. They continue to keep the structure by bonding them together. They are not really moving away. If there is a chance, they come. And based on the relationship, these middle core and the electrons which are moving around them, electrons are just charges which happens. And maybe if you are looking at it, it is a wonder that it is creating, and it is, when you are looking, it may be there, and then the same thing appears everywhere at the same time. So it's like a big wonder, which is very difficult to understand how it is working. When you are conscious of that, it changes its whole thing, goes on changing. So all the changes are based on movement. For movement, three aspects are needed, that is space, time, and then you see the original condition is little bit altered now, cause and effect. So our existence is based on these three principles. Existence of atom, the basic particle of existence, maybe small ingredients of it together form the basic unit, which is the atom. Then atom combined together to form molecules, then compounds, and all the rest of the world have evolved. But all these things, for existing, they need space, and it works in time, and as a result of this, there is some result comes, cause and effect. The effect is the result. That is there in everything. That is why every action has a reaction. And science says every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Karma theory don't say that, but they say every action has a reaction. Whether it is equal or opposite, there is a reaction. Action and reaction together is called karma in Sanskrit terms. And when, as we have seen, there is an impetus to move, must be there, which is the subtle quality, and that quality we call as the rajas quality. The knowledge to move is the sattva quality. As a result of the sattva and the rajas, there started some kind of a, what you call, a grosser nature. And this grosser nature is called the tamas. So there is knowledge to move, then there is passion to move and movement and grossification. The first is sattva, the second is rajas, and the third is tamas. When it is in the tamas, actually the grossification has happened. And then they started to combine together and created a world as we see today. And further combination has made life forms, finally we human beings. Then there is an inherent tendency for getting united. And I was looking from where this inherent tendency of unification came. It's just a story which I cooked up, and that explains this. It's a story, it's not scientifically something. And I have seen that what was there before the beginning, the question which I often ask. And before the beginning, actually, we cannot expect there should be something, there could be something. Because it was before the beginning. Nothing has happened before the beginning. And then from that, something has happened. And when that something has happened, before the beginning, there was something has happened. And the base, as there is nothing in the base, then where is the inspiration to move? If you just simply I'm making a story. But you can see that there is something created, so there must be an inspiration. ചിലപ്പോൾ അതായിരിക്കാം ഒരടിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങിയ അപ്പം there is എന്തോ ഒരു ഇൻസ്പിറേഷൻ, അതാണ് പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പം what I tried to conceive was what happened at the origin, at the beginning. So I made the theory like this. The theory is a story. It's not a theory, it's a story. What was there before the beginning? I started the theory or the story like this. What was there before the beginning? And before the beginning, there must be nothing. So, അതേ പറഞ്ഞു. അത് എനിക്ക് സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈഡ് ആയില്ല. ആദിയിൽ വചനം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന ഒരു വലിയ സ്റ്റേറ്റ്മെൻ്റാണ്. ഓം ആണ് ഈ വചനം. പക്ഷെ ആ ഓമിനും അത് ഓം ആദ്യമേ ഉണ്ട് എന്നാണ്. അതാണ് അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞത്. ഈ ഓം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ധ്വനി ആദ്യമേ ഉണ്ട്, ഉണ്ടാക്കിയതല്ല, ഉള്ളതാണ്. അത് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു കപില മഹർഷിയുടെ ഒരു കോൺക്രീറ്റ് കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷൻ. ആദ്യമേ ക്വാളിറ്റീസ് ഉണ്ട്. ഈ ക്വാളിറ്റീസ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ സത്വഗുണം ആ, രജോ ഗുണം ഈ ആ ഊ, തമോ ഗുണം അതുകൊണ്ട് ആദ്യമേ അതുണ്ട്. അത് കപില മഹർഷിയുടെ കോൺട്രിബ്യൂഷനാണ്. അങ്ങനെ അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞില്ലെങ്കിലും ഒറിജിൻ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്. സത്വത്തിൽ നിന്ന് രജസ്, രജസിൽ നിന്ന് തമസ് ആണ് ഉൽപ്പത്തിയായത്. പക്ഷേ ഇത് മൂന്നും ഉണ്ട്, ആദ്യമേ ഉണ്ടെന്നാണ്. ഉണ്ടാക്കപ്പെട്ടതല്ല. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് സംതിങ് വിച്ച് വാസ് ദെയർ ഓൾവേസ്. അതാണ് നമ്മുടെ ഈ ഐഡിയയുടെ ബേസിക് കിടക്കുന്നത്. ആദിയിൽ വചനമുണ്ടായി, ഇതാണ് വചനം, ഓം എന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ അത് എനിക്ക് അങ്ങോട്ട് അത് സത്യമായി ആണ് എങ്കിലും അതെങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടായി എന്നാണ് ചിന്ത. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ നോക്കിയപ്പം ഇതാണ് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഇട്ടത്. ഈ സ്റ്റോറി ഞാൻ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്ന സ്റ്റോറിയിൽ ഞാൻ ഇട്ടത് ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആണ്. വാട്ട് വാസ് ദെയർ ബിഫോർ ദ ബിഗിനിങ്? ബിഫോർ ദ ബിഗിനിങ് ദെയർ മസ്റ്റ് നത്തിങ്. There must be nothing. And so, how could something come out of nothing? So, there must be something. That something may be this vajana or the intelligence. There must be intelligence. And why not the intelligence remain as intelligence? Why did it has the inspiration to manifest? ഇതൊരു ഇല്യൂഷൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ എന്തിനാണ് ഇന്റലിജൻസ്? വൈ ഷുഡ് ഇന്റലിജൻസ് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ആൻ ഇല്യൂഷൻ? അത് എന്തോന്നോ തോന്നി. അപ്പം ബിഫോർ ദ ബിഗിനിങ് ദർ വാസ് എംപ്റ്റിനെസ്, ആൻഡ് എംപ്റ്റിനെസ് വാസ് ദർ എവരിവെയർ. ആൻഡ് വെൻ ഐ പുട്ട് ദ സെക്കൻഡ് സെന്റൻസ്, everywhere I have seen that it is an idea of time I put it there, and the idea of space I place there with my mind to create the story. So there was space and there was time was there at the beginning. As a result, there was cause and effect also came. At the beginning it was there from some source, which may be Vajanam or Om, or but from the emptiness nothing would come. And so there is something which is there as part of the emptiness, which is not empty, but it is an inspiration or a knowledge. Something was there without which nothing can come. And so I considered it as awareness. It is an aspect of that also I cannot say, because consciousness is full and complete or empty. But there could be nothing which could come out of it, but there was in the consciousness, there was something which was not manifested. And that part I like to call it as awareness. Awareness. And according to Sankhya, consciousness remained as it is. From nature, the qualities evolve. So I consider the awareness is the root of nature. From the awareness, something. Why awareness started to feel, to create? Nobody can answer the question, and there was no answer came so far. Anyway, in the story which I wanted to say to you is the awareness which is part of the consciousness, which is not separated. So it was not part, it was full. It was part of that, but it was not manifested, but it was there. In that respect, it was full and complete. But there something happened, and what happened we don't know. And something might have happened in the awareness, that the awareness start to feel itself. There was only consciousness, and the awareness part was there. But this awareness, when it started to manifest due to a desire of the awareness to see itself. When it wants to see, it started to see something. And that is the knowledge, the passion and activity, and the lethargic phase, which is the tamas. It was there in a rudimentary form or something, which was there. And then, it understood. Just take it as a story. It wants to create something, it created. And then it understood that it's missing something now. It wants to create something that was created, and then it started to feel that it was not complete anymore, because now it is a separate entity. Before it was whole and complete. And now as it desired something, it started to feel itself as a separate entity. And then it started to feel lost, the wholeness. So it tried to make a leap to get back into the consciousness. It's a story. A leap to get back into the consciousness. But already the idea of time, space, and causation evolved in the awareness that it could not get back to the source. It started to move in a different direction because the idea of time, space, and cause has come up. This is like the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So now it is a separate entity. So it has the urge to re-establish the consciousness. So the awareness was attempting. Every attempt of the awareness to get back, like a jumping back into the consciousness, was trapped by the time, space, and causation, and it started to move in a different direction. It's a story. It may not be the actual something what has happened, but I am creating a story. So, when it jumped, it was caught by the spokes of time and space and causation, and thereby it started to move in a different direction. Things or subtle manifestations started there. Like, for example, it may be the free particles evolved. They are not combined as atom or anything. So, there was the inherent tendency of the awareness to establish union with the lost consciousness is still working. And so it started again to establish, it made a leap to establish consciousness. And when it has done, the free proton, neutron, electrons, they could not be free proton, electron. They tried to combine. The idea of union was working. And then atom, many different combinations it made. And then these combinations could not remain as it is, but there was the inherent tendency to unite continued. And so the two atoms combined together, and that became something else with the inherent tendency to establish union. As the tendency was working, it goes on jumping and creating things. The result was not expected. The result that was expected was to establish union with the consciousness. Instead, something was happening all the time. So these atoms, they combined together, created some molecules, and they could not also remain because the inherent tendency of the awareness, which is the root of the creation, and it again jumped and they combined together to form molecules, and then the awareness which is there inside, they could not remain because the idea is to establish union with the consciousness, and it again attempted, as it was caught by the spokes of time and space and cause and effect, then something else has happened, that is the compounds. And then it went on and on and on. So many things have created here with this inherent feeling of establishing union with the consciousness, but never the union with the consciousness took place. And if we look into our own mind, we can see this. We are continuously jumping. And we try to establish consciousness, but the consciousness remain aloof and we go on creating things. And when life forms have created, like for examples, like small atoms, they combined together and it made some specific characters for that. And then it was again jumping and jumping. And then new and new life forms started to evolve, compounds, they combine together. At a certain point, it starts to move by itself, like a energy movement of life forms evolved. And they combined together and created new things. And it is continuing. We have, when we are looking into ourselves, we can see that there is this inherent tendency still working in us. So on that basis, I created the story. It might be a story that has happened. It may be not. Maybe not at all. But this tendency is holding behind the creation, of every little action that we do. If you see something beautiful, we cannot just leave it. We have to go closer. This tendency of the awareness to go closer to establish a union, see it properly, touch it and feel it and become one with it. This is remaining as an inherent tendency. For all life forms, it is there. For human beings, it is there. Anything that you see, if you feel it's good, you want to establish union. This is the very basic idea of yoga. Yoga means union. But we are physically looking for that union, and the original idea was to establish union with the fullness or the emptiness, which was there at the beginning, which is the consciousness. And that attempt continued, and a multitude of organisms came, and finally humans came. And in the humans beings, they wanted to understand and get back into somewhere. They continue to establish oneness with the rest of existence here, and so many things has happened, and then still the feeling was not fulfilled. That is why we are still there. We have this feeling to establish. We don't know where to establish union, what to be achieved or become, to establish or to become one with. That we don't know, but we have the urge all the time to get united. And that, so the idea of yoga is always there as a tendency of unity. The term yoga is translated as union. We are being carried by this tendency. And so everything they tried, the original humans, they have been trying all these things. Or maybe in the chimpanzee it was moving. Small unicellular organisms, they were trying the union, and they started to make colonies, and they started to live together, establishing union. And then new and new things were formed. They all established some kind of a union and living together and creating this world. Hydrogen and carbon, they united. Water and oxygen and hydrogen united water. And so everything has created in this way. Now we are in union, but we don't feel that we are in union. We are still longing to establish union with peace or the stillness or the source. All attempts to create union never worked out, but something else worked out. Still, we continue. At maybe at a certain, this is how I conceive it, at a certain point of time, some old human, the humans were here for millions of years now, and then the feeling was there, why this is not happening? I should jump not outwardly, I should jump inward to establish union. This idea might have come. And then instead of looking outside, jumping outside for establishing union with the consciousness, it so happened that this awareness of the person, instead of jumping outside, started to jump inside towards the inner core, and there he understood that I am the consciousness. And this whole thing became like a drama. And the purpose is fulfilled. And the purpose is fulfilled in human beings. Other organisms, on the way, they didn't get into that state of consciousness. They tried. Many unions have happened, and finally humans have evolved. And in the human being, this possibility was fulfilled. Instead of jumping to establish union with the external, it started to look inside, and the union took place within the person itself, and he got fulfilled. This is called fulfillment. So fulfillment came to someone, and then the purpose of the awareness is fulfilled. One person is enough. The purpose is fulfilled. Now this is open. We can also do and get fulfilled. This is the core teaching of philosophy, Indian spirituality. I said like a story this. But this is where they were looking. Instead of jumping outside, they are saying specifically, instead of jumping outside, you jump inside. When I understood that, I put this idea as look inside. Instead of jumping outside, look inside. And from that day onwards, when I understood this, for my sake, I, every literature which I do for my work, I captioned it as look inside. If you want to be peaceful, this is the only way. If you want to feel fulfillment, you have to jump into yourself to establish union with your own consciousness. Atma Brahma Aikyam. This is the idea. This is the fulfillment. Until and unless it happens, the movement and the desire to move, movement, and the result of movement, everything will exist continuously. We are not looking whether it is good or bad, but it will continue. This is the manifested world. There is vibration which moves on. There is particles which are moving on. Atoms, molecules, compounds, life forms, trees, humans, everything. In this earth it so happened. Maybe elsewhere something else might have happened. Maybe the same thing might have happened. Don't need to have something else because this core is working. And some places it is working. And this is the same thing which was happened in elsewhere. So far, we human beings are studying moon, maybe Mars, because they have found this kind of materials there, water, particles, atoms, molecules, compounds. So this is how the solid structures are there in the universe. And in the world, the life forms evolved, and we are considered as the highly evolved animals. And these animals, awareness which is there in these animals, have the possibility to look inside to establish union, which was already established years ago. One person establishes this is equivalent that the law has come out. The purpose is fulfilled for the universe. Now it's very easy. It's very easy for us to do because the path is already there. If you want to establish union with something, you come closer to it and then you establish. That we materially we do, but deep inside to the core, we are not doing it. And that is why the union remains always aloof. And if we are starting to look inside, this will take place immediately. Until and unless this union establishes, everything will be in a vibrant state of action and reaction. So if you trace the action and reaction to its core root, you can come back into the consciousness and the awareness. And you can actually project it to the whole universe, though we don't know everything about the universe. But take a small part of that and you test, and that is enough. ഉപ്പുണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കാൻ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അരിവെന്തോ എന്ന് നോക്കാൻ നമ്മളെല്ലാ അരിയും തിന്നിട്ടല്ല എന്ന് പറയുമല്ലോ. എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതുപോലെ ഇതൊരു ടെസ്റ്റായിട്ട് എടുത്തിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കാം എന്ന് നമ്മളൊരു അസംഷൻ പറയും. അപ്പോൾ here you can see at the core of the creation of universe there is a motivation to move, and movement played a great role. Still that is playing a great role for getting back into the consciousness. So action and reaction are the way for establishing everything, and that is also the route through which you can get back into the source, realization or freedom or enlightenment or whatever. And so there is a possibility. So we see now two principles. One is the consciousness, the other is the awareness. One is the stillness, the other is the movement. And if there is a movement, there is an inspiration to move. That we can see in our mind. All the actions that humans are doing are based on some inspiration from within. Now we are looking from where the inspiration is coming. In humans, we are looking into the theory of creation, and we are looking into the theory of karma. When you are looking inside, we can see all our actions are motivated by some desire. And you are looking at the desire. What is desire? Desire is a thought, basically. It is a powerful thought because you have a little bit of connection or attachment with a particular thought, with an idea of fulfillment. This is basically a thought with an idea of fulfilling something. And that is the desire. And from where the desire is coming, if you look, you can see the desires are all thought forms, basically. And thoughts, you can see, are coming from the memories. Thoughts cannot come from elsewhere. Thoughts come from memories. So memory, what is memory you're looking? Memory is the retention of the past experiences. So thoughts are coming from the retentions of the past experiences, which are the memory. All actions has its root in memory. We are tracing what is the root of action. And memories are memories which are stored in cells, in neurons, memory cells in our brain. It is there, which is an idea or an experience in a coded form or in a like a microchip. It is there. This information is there. And this stagnated memory, how is it coming out as a thought? Masters have looked at it. And they said there must be an energy that might have triggered a thought, triggered a memory to become something. Without an additional application of an energy, this memory cannot surface as a movement. It's stagnated. The memory is the tamas quality, stagnated, gross and stagnated. And so the stagnated memory needs to be pushed by something. That something is some kind of energy needs to enter into the memory to trigger it. And that energy that passes, it's a life energy that has to stimulate a memory. And this stimulating energy that got into the memory box is called Icha. Icha. Icha, Jnana, Icha, Kriya, Jnana, Shaktis. There are three things they are saying. Icha is the base energy that entered into the memory box to stimulate a thought from the memory. And when the life force, this life force, when it enters into the memory, it assumes the form of the memory. Otherwise, it's stagnated, dead memory. And then energy passes inside the memory box and it gets triggered and the form of the memory surfaces. And in the beginning, we will not see the form of the memory. So it happens in the subconscious realms of the mind. And when there is a push from the bottom and it is slowly starts to bubble and it comes up and it becomes a big bubble in the conscious mind. When it becomes a big bubble in the conscious mind, you understand what is the thought. Until that time, you may not be able to know what is the thought which is on the way to surface. But it was for sure that it comes from the memory. Memory is stagnant, so there needs a push, and that is the energy which is called Icha. And with the support of Icha, it started to move from the subconscious realm to the conscious realm of the mind. When it comes to the conscious realm, you can feel that a thought has come. If you look, you will see a thought has come. Otherwise, the thought carries you. You may not know what has happened or what is happening. Now it is carrying you. And we go along with it. It has a drive. The drive is to fulfill. A thought is coming with a basic drive for fulfillment. And there are some thoughts which are really, you have already established a great bond in the memory, with particular memory. So the memory is actually active in its nature, but it needs the trigger of a force inside for it to manifest and show you. So everything that is there stored in the memory, when it is triggered and coming to the conscious level of the mind, you will see this is the thought which is coming. And then as it has a direction, it's a forward moving thing and it is looking for fulfillment. So you push yourself into action and you push into the movement of fulfilling your karma. When you are looking in your mind specifically to identify what's my karma, you need to work. Otherwise, thoughts are coming, thoughts takes you somewhere, and you go on creating thoughts, and then you don't know for what you came here. But something comes, you do this. On the way of doing it, you accumulate new karmas, and you put it in the box again. From there, something enters, and it surfaces. It comes to the conscious mind, and you have the inherent tendency to fulfill that. And then you jump into action. But you are not fully focused that some result may come, some may not bear fruit, and then you again feel to continue. On the way of your action, you meet somebody, and you don't know whether this somebody is part of your karma or not, but you feel, I can start something. You start something, and then a new karma is unknowingly generated there, but you are not aware whether it is the karma which is your burden or it is a karma which you are generating now. So as we are living like this, we go on generating karmas. And that is why masters say that you need 80 lakhs life for fulfilling this, because it never finishes. We constantly creating. As we don't have that observation to see what is my karma. And people often doubt it also. When troubles come, they say, why I am here? I don't know what to do about my life. But the content, what to do in the life is there. The content is stored in the memory. In the memory, it is very clear what you have to do. Because when a force enters, it will show this is what I want. But as we are not looking, it's not clear. When it is not clear, you go on creating new millions of karmas. And fulfilling your karmas leads you to fulfillment. As we are not aware what is to be done with my life, then never the fulfillment happens. So it goes like a vicious circle, you go on creating it. But masters say that you have 80 million lives and so no problem. You can make it next life. No problem. You come back and forth. But always the fulfillment remains aloof. So we are in the chain of karmas, the karmic, we are locked up in the karmic chain. So reincarnation I will talk later. So in this life, when you are looking at this life, this is what is happening. You look somewhere and there is some little fascinating things. Oh, it is very nice. but your senses are going outside, gathering information. This information goes somewhere deep inside you, and there you feel some kind of a liking with that, and then you go closer and closer, and then you establish certain bond, and then you move in this rut, and it will continue. As you don't have a clarity in the mind to actually see what I should do, what I should not do, what is my karma, what is not my karma. We are here, if suppose we are here, we have accumulated a lot of things, and it is very important for the at least practitioners to see what I should do. And the answer is there in the content of your consciousness. And this content of your consciousness is called prarabdha, because it continuously pushes you into action with the motive of fulfillment. But so far it is not getting fulfilled, you feel it's a burden that I have to fix it. On the way, as I was saying, we go on creating new burdens. So there is no end. Maybe not even 80 lakhs life enough, because it's a constant program that we go on creating, and then we are redoing it or getting rid of it. Some little will be completed or fixed and you are satisfied, but a lot will remain unfulfilled, fulfilled. And this action and reaction that is taking place in the life is the main study of karma theory. So the root of karma is icha. Icha is the root karma, which is a force, which is triggering a memory. And when the memory comes, you see what is your action. So as soon as a memory is surfacing, it is important for you to stay there and look whether it is my karma, which I really wanted to do, or it is of some reason, something you have done is stored there. This looking is helping you to distinguish what is your burden and what is not your burden. Burdens you have started already. Burdens are things which you have already started. So there is a set of karmas, action, and the replica of action which is there in the form of memory. And we have no chance unless the memory shows what I should do. So how can you enter into the memory and look? You don't need to enter into the memory, you just simply have to see what is surfacing. You don't need to dig into the memory. But when it comes, you can see. So every practitioner needs to identify what is my prarabdha. The unfulfilled desires or karmas which are there in the memories, deeper in the memory, are considered as prarabdha. Prarabdha means burden of karma. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, yes. The source. Or in the beginning, we may not be able to know. Maybe we may not have the awareness to know. So that is why, on the way of your living, you meet somebody, and that somebody says this to you. You know it. He reminds you. Why are you doing this? So the answer is, I cannot avoid doing it. If you could avoid, then you could avoid. But I cannot avoid this. When you look at the karma of the base, the source, the memories, then you will understand that this I have to do. And the pressure is growing. Suppose, for example, small examples you can see in our life. You are daily going through a particular route for evening walks. There are many people living on the street side in houses. And one day you have seen somebody there. Maybe it is a beautiful looking man or a beautiful girl or an old girl or an old man, someone. But when you have seen, oh, that's nice. There's a little feeling. So many people you have been seeing. But that particular day when you saw somebody, that is a particular person. And then some impression comes inside your mind, a little impression. So that is fine, but you are going. You have not thought about the person. But the next day when you are starting your evening walk, this is coming. The memory of that particular person is coming in. And so there is a little expectation comes. Maybe, and so the person's house may be nearby. You might have seen the person in the gate. And today when you are coming in the gate, the person is not there. And so you can turn and look whether the person is there in the courtyard or in the veranda. Natural. And then the third day when you are coming, you saw the person. Not outside, inside. Nice. And then something happens. The fourth day, when you are coming out of the house, and maybe you put a little bit of little something. Nice. Not big alteration, but a little touch. You are hurry, but still okay. In the biography, it's little, because we are not intentional or we are not doing anything wrong, but unknowingly it is happening. Something is happening. And then the next day you have seen also. Then that person didn't care, but you looked. There is no smile, nothing. But when you come back home, there is some thoughts about this is coming. Slowly some sprout comes out of that seed. And then the next day you really dress up and go. That is the chance. Slowly, you are not thinking anything about it. But it spontaneously, it alters your state of mind. And your form is changing. Your appearance is changing. You become conscious of the appearance. And then slowly some imagination. And maybe then today you have seen again. So you are well dressed, you are presentable now. Slowly, gradually it is developing. And then you look, the person didn't smile. A little disappointment, because you have prepared quite a lot. Prepared quite a lot. See, we will not notice this at all. It slowly is normal things. And then one day you looked at the gate, the person is not there. But when you are turning the turn and the person is coming, it's coming. Oh, nice. Surprise, shock. You don't know what to do. Little, and maybe the person is looking, by seeing all these, what you call manifestation of your shyness and all those things, and the person simply smiles. Interesting.
Initially, before the sound or working, there was only intelligence or awareness. Even before the intelligence came, what was there?
There is nothing. That is nothing. Other we can only say nothing.
Is it that black hole or something? Is it that space?
Because in the black hole, what they think nowadays is we are withdrawn all the planets around the Saurayutham or the whole galaxy. They come closer and closer and they engulf each other. Our sun is going to grow and take all the planets inside after some time, and then all the members of the galaxy, millions and millions of stars and planets, they all become one, and then they are enhancing in volume and they become so concentrated, and then the density of that increases like anything, that they are becoming centrifugal like that, and then it comes to one null point like a pinhead, and there's high density and high concentration because all the universe together is now like a pinpoint, and maybe not even a pinpoint, and you cannot see there is a black hole because the density of it is so high that anything that passes nearby will be swallowed into it. There is no light, even the rays of light cannot come out of it because of its density. The light will be staying inside, inhibited inside. Nothing. That is the black hole. And then because of the high density of it, high pressure which is there inside, one day then it breaks, and then the universe. And again the same thing. Maybe not the same thing, it's starting again. In millions and billions of years it will take to manifest like this. So nothing is going actually. Everything is there. The thing which were there here is becoming invisible and highly concentrated, and finally it manifests. Maybe not this earth, but something comes and it will continue, and then it continues. It is like a lila. This is a game which is going on continuously. And so now we can ask a question: what was there as the background of it? It's like a spot now. Where is that spot? Beyond that, there is nothing. And that is always there. It comes and goes. But that background remains as it is. That background, I can use only the word background. And that base is from where everything came. And that always remain permanent. Those things that comes and go, it goes on coming and going. So that comes and goes is not permanent. The base is permanent. So this coming and going thing is the nature. The other is the consciousness. That is an idea. But that which is coming and going is not permanent. But as our experience, this is very permanent. This is a reality. But there is nothing like this. It is an idea that we are putting on it. And so this is not permanent, this is an illusion. The other, which is always there, which is invisible, and that is the reality, only reality. That is Brahman, and this is manifestation. Manifestation has beginning, the middle phase, and withdrawal. The base, it never manifests. And this is an idea which is proposed by our philosopher, the spiritual masters.
So is the man top in the stage?
Yes, it is. Now when we are looking, we are very small animals, but we control the whole earth. There is elephant, Timing, Big things are there. They cannot do this. We have incredible intelligence that we can really manipulate anything now. So we are extremely intelligent in being part of, or maybe part of, this whole manifested world, which is driving us actually to fulfill something, because we are living in ignorance that there is nothing to fulfill is not understood by this system which we are holding. So we create something and we wanted to fulfill. That is a drama by itself.
You also mentioned the three gunas, spirit and gunas, the three derived.
So the sattva is the knowledge. There should be knowledge for creating something. How to create, and from that passion to move, to create. That is the passion. To create is the passion, and then the passion to create, and then an attempt to create. That together is called the rajasic quality. As the passion was so strong like that, that something started to manifest. When it started to manifest, it is grosser in nature when comparing to the earlier phase. And that grosser nature is called the tamas, which is under everything. For example, I will show you very clearly. This one. This is a very simple example that you can see all these things. Usually we don't see. This is matter. It is cup. Forget about the cup and all those things, language. This is a material. You rely upon the science. What is it made of? Some silica or something. So it is made up of some molecules of or compound. And then you go further, it is a collection of certain molecules of silica or something. And then you go further into it. So these are molecules are made up of so many atoms. And so these are, in that state, it is only atoms. And you go further into it, you can see atoms are a pack of energy. So in that level, it is a pack of energy. It is. And if it is a pack of energy, then there is movement of energy, the subatomic movements, and the inspiration to move is there. And the knowledge for creating the movement of the atoms that composes this is also there. So we have the knowledge that is there to make the atoms here is there inside. The passion to move like the particles and the nucleus around, and that is also here, which is the rajasic quality. And the shape as it is seemingly not moving. High velocity movement is going on. Billions and billions of atoms are in high velocity moving here. But we don't see it. We see as an opaque matter. There is no light you can see. There is no knowledge you can see. There is no movement you can see. You only see the static matter. This static matter is the tamasic nature. The movement is the rajasic matter. The sattva, which is the knowledge behind this for the formulation of the components of this, is the knowledge which is the sattva part. But it has everything. You look anything in this perspective, you can see the whole world is created out of these three qualities of sattva, which is the knowledge, then rajas, which is the passion to move and movement of the subatomic levels or atomic level, which is there inside. As a result of this, it appears as not a moving object at all. This is real for us. This is real for us. This is illusory understanding. This is Maya. This is cup, but it is not energy. Where the energy is happening? In the space. There is a space behind this. There it is manifesting. If you move, and the space is there. And the space is inside. The space is moving through each and every cell of it, every atom of it. And that space is spreading here, 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 here. The space is running through all of us. It is the what you call the consciousness which is running. And we are all in that. But this seems as a reality. The other thing we don't see. Usually we cannot see. Our eyes are not fit for that. It doesn't mean that it is full of energy, it is full of knowledge, it is full of combination of things, and it is full of space. If there is no particle, the space is not space, it is emptiness. The emptiness. So we are all existing on this. But this is seemingly real for us. The other thing which are subtle, which is not real for us. This is Maya. This is called Maya.
Realization is moksha.
This is a realization. We are looking for some other moksha. No, this is moksha. When you realize this, you understand that you are the consciousness which is going to be here ever. Even when you become a black hole, you are existing there as the background of it. When it is smashed and then it is creating the universe, you are still there, unaffected. This realization, when it becomes permanent, and that permanence is there in your being, in your character, you are realized. This is realization. You look anything, that is a tool for you to realize. Because, and what is the difference between this, my atom, in the subatomic levels of my atom? There is no difference. Behind that, what is different? What is the difference? No difference. The space is there, the space is here. And the space is not here and there, the space is everywhere. So I have that vast expanse. I am a big, big, big thing extending to the whole universe. Not extending, I am. You don't need to extend because it's full and complete. And these are the qualities. So the quality masks the truth. Truth is something which is permanent. That is why the next idea of yoga came. When you take away this ignorance, which is the base of creation, you are the Brahma. Until that time, the action and reactions will continue. It's not difficult to understand intellectually, but to stay in that space is not that easy. You need to have an absolute sharp focus. And when you have that, you know this is like that. In that case, if the air which is moving in my cells and making my cell work stops, and somebody takes me to burn it away, what happens to my body? I am here somewhere. Like its components. What happens to that space which I held at that time? I cannot hold, but I feel it is here. So I never come, never go. I am always here. This is your permanent state. When you realize this, you are realized. Then your character will be like that.
ഇപ്പൊ ഈ കപ്പ് പോലെ തന്നെ ബ്ലാക്ക് ഹോളും ഒരു ക്വാളിറ്റി ആണല്ലോ. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ബാക്ക്ഗ്രൗണ്ടിലുള്ള ആ സ്പേസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ബ്രഹ്മവും.
അതാണ് അത് വളരെ സിമ്പിളാണ്. ഇതാണ് വലിയ ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടായിട്ട് ആളുകൾ പറഞ്ഞത്. എനിക്കിത് മനസ്സിലാകുന്നേ ഇല്ല. എന്താണ് ഇതിനകത്തൊരു ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ടി? അത് വലിയ പ്രയാസം സാർ, അത് കിട്ടണില്ല. സാർ പറയണതൊക്കെ ശരി, പക്ഷെ ഇത് കിട്ടണില്ല. അത് 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 അങ്ങനെ അല്ല. അപ്പം അതിനിടയിൽ ഒരു സാധനത്തിന് ഉണ്ടാക്കി അങ്ങ് വെച്ചു കൊടുക്കുക. ഇതിൻ്റെ മുമ്പേ മനസ്സുറയ്ക്കാതെ ആടിക്കൊണ്ട് നടക്കുകയല്ലേ. ഇത് ഉറച്ചാൽ ഇത് കാണാം, ഇത് ഉറച്ചിട്ട് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. അപ്പം ഒരു തുമ്പിക്കയെ വെച്ച് ഒരു വലിയ തലയിൽ 2 ചെവിയൊക്കെ ഉള്ള ആളിനെ പിടിച്ച് അങ്ങ് വെച്ചു കൊടുക്കും. ഇത് തന്നെ ബ്രഹ്മം പിടിച്ചോ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, ഓ കൊള്ളാം, നല്ല ഇതായിട്ടിരിക്കുന്നു, ഞാനങ്ങ് പിടിക്കും. പിടിച്ച മനസ്സവിടെ നീ കുറേ ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ മനസ്സിലാകും, ആ ഇതിനകത്തും ഇത് തന്നെ, ഇതിനകത്തും അത് തന്നെ. അപ്പം അതിനങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരുത്താം. നല്ലതല്ലേ? അതിനെന്ത് കുഴപ്പം? അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ കിട്ടിയില്ലെങ്കിൽ വേറെ ആളിനെ പിടിക്കാമല്ലോ, ആരെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ പിടിക്കാം. ആ അത് കുറച്ചൊരു അമാനുഷ സ്വഭാവം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ നല്ലതല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കൈക്ക് പകരം അല്ല 2 കൈക്ക് പകരം ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു 20 കൈയെല്ലാം വെച്ച് ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് കഠാര, ശൂലം, പരിച, വാള്, അത് ഇതെല്ലാം വെച്ച് അങ്ങനെ അങ്ങോട്ട് വിരിഞ്ഞ് നിൽക്കുകയല്ലേ അമ്മ എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ എന്താണെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾ വിചാരിക്കുക. ഇങ്ങനെ നോക്കണം, അയ്യോ ഭഗവാനെ, അയ്യോ കൊല്ലല്ലേ കൊല്ലല്ലേ, പാവാണേ ഞാൻ, എനിക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും തരണേ. അവൻ പണ്ട് മറ്റേ പൂന്തരസ്വാമിയുടെ അടുത്ത് ചെന്ന പോലെ, സ്വാമി എന്തെങ്കിലും തരണം, പകരം ബാക്കി പറയും. ഓ കിട്ടി, അത് വാങ്ങിച്ചിട്ട് വീട്ടിൽ പോവാം. ആക്ച്വലി ഇത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. അത് എന്തോ ഒരു തടസ്സമുണ്ട് ഇത് അങ്ങോട്ട് കിട്ടാനായിട്ട്. ആ തടസ്സം അങ്ങ് മാറും. അപ്പം ആ തടസ്സം മാറുന്നത് വരെ ഇതിനുള്ള അറ്റംപ്റ്റ്, അത് ഡിസയർ ടു മൂവ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. ആ അത് തന്നെ. ആ തടസ്സങ്ങൾ ഇങ്ങനെ നിൽക്കുക. അപ്പം എല്ലാം കടാനൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കല്ലേ, എല്ലാം ഒരു 10-20 കൈയൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, എടുത്ത് വെച്ചിട്ട് എല്ലാം കൂടെ വെട്ടി ചോപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് എല്ലാം തള്ളി എന്തോ ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യണം, പരിചയം വെച്ച് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യണം, മറ്റേത് വെച്ച് വില്ല് വെച്ച് ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് വരുന്നതിലെല്ലാം കട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കളയണം, അതൊക്കെ ചെയ്യാം. പിന്നെ അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നീ പ്യുവർ ആണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് താമരയൊക്കെ പിടിച്ചിട്ട് അതിനും കൂടെ താമര അത് കൊള്ളാം, അതൊന്ന് മണം വെച്ചാൽ അത് വെച്ചേക്കാം അവിടെ. അങ്ങനെ ഇതെല്ലാം പിടിച്ചങ്ങനെ വെച്ചിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ആനന്ദമായിട്ട് അങ്ങ് വിചാരിക്കാം. കുറേ ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഇതൊരു റിയാലിറ്റിയാണ്. എവിടെ പോയാലും ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടെ ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസ് ആയില്ലേ, എവിടെ പോയാലും ഇതെല്ലാം നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ സപ്പോർട്ടിനുണ്ടെന്നുള്ളൊരു ഇതായി. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു കണ്ടീഷനിൽ എത്തുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ ഈ ആൾ കൂടെ ഉണ്ടെന്നൊക്കെ തോന്നിച്ച ആൾ കൂടെ നടക്കില്ലേ. അത് പിന്നെ കുറേ കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ഈ ആൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമ്മുടെ ഒരു പ്രൊജക്ഷനാണെന്ന്, നമ്മൾ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തൊരു സാധനമാണെന്ന് ഒക്കെ അങ്ങ് മനസ്സിലാവും. അത് മനസ്സിലായിട്ട് അങ്ങ് സമാധാനമായിട്ട് അങ്ങ് ഇരിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നു. അതുവരെ ഈ ആക്ഷൻ നടന്നുകൊണ്ടേയിരിക്കും, സബ്റ്റിലായിട്ടിരിക്കും. ഗ്രോസർ ആക്ഷന് പുറമെ നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ കണ്ട സിനിമയില്ലേ, നേരത്തെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് വന്ന സിനിമയെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ചാടി ഞാൻ പോയി, അത് പറഞ്ഞ് തീർത്തേക്കാം. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ കണ്ട് ചെറിയ പുഞ്ചിരിയൊക്കെ ആയി, സംഗതിയൊക്കെയുള്ള നല്ല ഒരു സുഖമുണ്ട്. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ അങ്ങ് ജീവിതം തരളിതമായി, അങ്ങനെ പ്രഫുല്ലമായി, ആനന്ദമായിട്ടിങ്ങനെ ജീവിക്കാം. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ദിവസം രാവിലെ വേഷമെല്ലാം കെട്ടി, ടൈയും കൂടെ ഒക്കെ കെട്ടി, ഇരുന്നോട്ടെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചു ടൈയെല്ലാം കെട്ടി നീറ്റായിട്ട് മേക്കപ്പൊക്കെ ഇട്ട് അങ്ങ് ഇറങ്ങിക്കോളും. അവിടെ നിന്ന് ഇങ്ങനെ മുഖത്തോട്ടം നോക്കിയിട്ട് തല അങ്ങോട്ട് തിരിച്ചിട്ട് എന്താണെന്ന് ഒരു പിടിയും കിട്ടാൻ അങ്ങോട്ട് മാറി വേറെ നോക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. അതെങ്ങനെ ഇന്ന് ശരിയില്ല, നോക്കണമില്ല, അങ്ങോട്ട് മാറി നോക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. ഉണ്ടാക്കിയ യൂണിവേഴ്സേ കൊളാപ്സ് ചെയ്തു. ഭയങ്കര ദുഃഖം വന്ന് കണ്ണൊക്കെ നിറഞ്ഞ് മോന്തയൊക്കെ വലിഞ്ഞ് കെട്ടി എന്ത് ചെയ്യാനെന്നുള്ളൊരവസ്ഥയായി. അപ്പം പിന്നെ ചോദിച്ചാൽ പറ്റും. അപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ നമ്മൾ ചോദിക്കണ്ടേ, അപ്പം അങ്ങോട്ട് കയറി പോയി ചോദിക്കുകയാണ്. ചോദിച്ചു. അപ്പം അവർ എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പറയും, ഇന്ന എന്നൊക്കെ കൊണ്ടാണെന്ന് പറയും. അത് പറയുമ്പോൾ എന്നെ കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്തി എന്നൊക്കെ തോന്നിക്കത്തില്ല. എന്നാൽ ഇത്ര ചെയ്തൊക്കെ എന്നെ കുറ്റപ്പെടുത്തിയ എന്നാൽ അത് നമുക്ക് നോക്കണമല്ലോ. അത് രണ്ടങ്ങോട്ടും പറയും. ഇതെല്ലാം പറഞ്ഞ് കുറ്റബോധമായി, വിഷമമായി, ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടായി, ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടെ ഇരിക്കുകയാണ്. അപ്പം അതെല്ലാം കൂടെ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ആലോചിക്കുകയാണ്. സങ്കടമുണ്ട്, നല്ല സങ്കടം. കാലം പോയി, കുറച്ച് ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും അയാൾ പോയി വേറെ ആരെയും കല്യാണം കഴിച്ച്, ഇയാൾ പോയി വേറെ ആരെയും കല്യാണം കഴിച്ച്, എങ്കിലും ഉള്ളിൽ മറ്റേ സാധനം കിടക്കുക, മറ്റേതിൻ്റെ ബാക്കി കിടക്കാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതാണ് ഈ പറയുന്ന കർമ്മമായിട്ട് വരുന്നതെന്നാണ് ഈ ജന്മത്തിൽ തന്നെ ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത്, കഴിഞ്ഞ ജന്മമല്ല, ഈ ജന്മത്തിൽ തന്നെ. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ പോവുകയാണ്. അപ്പം മനുഷ്യനല്ലേ, അങ്ങനെ പോയി അങ്ങനെ പോയി വരുമ്പോൾ ചെറിയ ചുരുണ്ട മുടി കാണുന്നു, മറ്റതിൻ്റെ മുടിയുടെ ഒരു ചെറിയ ചായ ഉണ്ടെന്ന്, ചെറിയൊരു മീശ അതുപോലൊക്കെ ഇരിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇതെല്ലാം കണ്ടിട്ടാ ശരി തന്നെ, ആ ഇമ്പ്രഷൻ വീണ്ടും കിൻഡിലാവുക. അത് അവിടെ നിന്ന് പതുക്കെ അനങ്ങാൻ തുടങ്ങി. അപ്പം പിന്നെ അപ്പം എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം എന്ത് ചെയ്യണ്ട, നമ്മുടെ ഇടയ്ക്ക് കാണിച്ച ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ അവിടെ പിടിക്കാത്ത കാര്യമൊക്കെ നമുക്കറിയാമല്ലോ. അപ്പം അതുകൊണ്ട് ആ കാര്യം ഇനി വെളിയെടുക്കണ്ടെന്നും പറഞ്ഞ് അതിനൊക്കെ ചവിട്ടിത്താത്ത് വെച്ച് ഇപ്പം നല്ല മനുഷ്യനായിട്ട് ഇനി അങ്ങനെ ഒരു മിസ്റ്റേക്കേ എൻ്റെ കയ്യിൽ നിന്ന് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ് അങ്ങോട്ട് പെരുമാറാൻ തുടങ്ങാം. അപ്പം എന്താണ് പറ്റുന്നത്? ഓവർ കോൺഷ്യസ് ആയിരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇയാൾ സ്പോണ്ടേനിയസേ അല്ല. ഇപ്പം ഇയാൾക്ക് കുറേ സെറ്റ് ഓഫ് പരിപാടിയൊക്കെ അയാൾ ഉറപ്പിച്ച് വെച്ചിരിക്കുക. ഇങ്ങനെ ഉള്ളത് കൊണ്ട്, അങ്ങനെ ഉഴപ്പായതുകൊണ്ട് ഇനി ആ കാര്യങ്ങളൊന്നും നമ്മളെ ക്യാരക്ടർ എടുക്കേണ്ട, മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് നല്ല മനുഷ്യനായിട്ടിരിക്കുകയെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് ഇയാൾ മോഡിഫൈ ആയിട്ട് റൈറ്റ് നടിച്ച് പോവുകയാണ്. ഇയാൾ പഴയ ആളല്ല. ഇയാൾ ആ സ്പോണ്ടേനിറ്റിയുടെ ഒരു സൗന്ദര്യം ഇല്ലാതായി. ഇയാളിപ്പം മറ്റേ റോബോട്ടായിട്ടിരിക്കുക. ഈ റോബോട്ടിന് ആർക്കെങ്കിലും തോന്നും ഇത് മനുഷ്യനായിട്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളിനല്ലേ മനുഷ്യനാവശ്യം. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്തൊക്കെ ഇതിന് വേറെയൊക്കെ പല രീതിയിലൊക്കെ ഇതിൽ നിന്നെല്ലാം ആകത്തുകയായിട്ട് നടക്കാഴികകൾ ഇങ്ങനെ അക്യൂമുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് അതിൻ്റെ ഫീലിങ്സും അതിൻ്റെ ബോണ്ടും അവിടെ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുക. ആ ബോണ്ട് ഓടുകൂടി ആ മെമ്മറി അതിനകത്ത് സൂക്ഷിച്ചു വയ്ക്കുക. ഇതിനെയാണ് പ്രാരബ്ധം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇങ്ങനെ പ്രാരബ്ധകർമ്മം എന്ന് ഇതിനെ പറയും. ഈ പ്രാരബ്ധകർമ്മം നമ്മുടെ പ്രാരബ്ധമാകാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ നടക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ പ്രാരബ്ധവും ആവാം. പരപ്രാരബ്ധം എന്ന് പറയും. കൂടെ നടന്ന് ഒരുത്തിന് സഹായിച്ച് അവൻ്റെ പ്രാരബ്ധം എല്ലാം നമ്മുടെ പ്രാരബ്ധമായിട്ട് അങ്ങ് തോന്നിച്ച് പിന്നെ അതെല്ലാം നമുക്ക് ചെയ്തെങ്കിലേ പറ്റത്തുള്ളൂ. നമ്മുടെ കൂടെ നിൽക്കുന്ന ആളുകളുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പം ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പ്രാരബ്ധമാക്കിയിട്ട് ഇങ്ങോട്ട് പാത്രം എടുക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി, എന്നെ സമ്മതിക്കില്ലല്ലോ പാത്രം എടുക്കാൻ. പരപ്രാരബ്ധമാണ്. ഇതിനാണ് പരപ്രാരബ്ധം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മൾ ചുറ്റും നിൽക്കുന്നവരുടെ എല്ലാം പ്രാരബ്ധം നമ്മളങ്ങോട്ടേറ്റ് അങ്ങോട്ട് പിടിക്കും. ഇത് ഫീലിംഗ് അടങ്ങാണ്. ഇതാണ് പരപ്രാരബ്ധം. ഇതെല്ലാം നോക്കുകയാണ് നമുക്കിതെല്ലാം പക്ഷേ ഇതിനകത്ത് എക്സ്പെക്റ്റേഷൻ ഒന്നും ഇല്ലാതെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്നതെങ്കിൽ പ്രാരബ്ധം ഇല്ല. അതാണ് എൻ്റെ വ്യത്യാസം. നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പെക്റ്റേഷൻ ഒന്നുമില്ല. നമ്മൾ സത്കർമ്മം ചെയ്യുന്നു, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും കിട്ടുമെന്നോ ഒന്നുമില്ല, അങ്ങ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അപ്പം അത് പ്യൂരിഫൈഡ് ആയതുകൊണ്ടില്ല, അതിൻ്റെ അകത്തുള്ള ബോണ്ട് അങ്ങ് പോയി. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ കർമ്മത്തിൻ്റെ റിഡംഷന് വേണ്ടി ഭഗവാൻ പറയുന്നത് പ്രതീക്ഷ കൂടാതെ, ഫലേച്ഛ കൂടാതെ കർമ്മം ചെയ്യുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. അതാണ് മുക്തിമാർഗം എന്നത്. കർമ്മത്തിൻ്റെ റിഡംഷന് ഉള്ള മാർഗമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്കിപ്പോൾ തൽക്കാലം നിർത്തണോ? എത്രയായി? തീർന്നില്ല. അപ്പം പിന്നെ നിർത്താം. 5-8 ആയില്ലേ? അപ്പം ബാക്കി നമുക്ക് കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യുന്നതാണ്. നാളെ തീർക്കാം. അപ്പം നാളത്തെ ഇത് ബാക്കി ഇത് തീർക്കാം.